Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome to Forza Horizon 3. This is the full game. The adventure begins right here. So join me for plenty more Forza Horizon 3 videos to come in the future. It all starts today and we are going to go straight into the action here. Well, actually, I'm going to skip this one because I imagine that you've seen this gameplay here about 5 billion times. You've probably played it on the demo yourself. So we're going to skip ahead here, go to the end of that bit. We're going to choose our character and choose our name. So we're going to go with this guy on the right hand side here. And we're going to choose our name. There's plenty of names you can choose. It's already highlighted my actual name. But then the nicknames are where we're looking. That's what I'm interested in. We've got Abraham Lincoln. There's pretty banterful names here. Bantosaurus Rex. But seeing as this is in Australia, we're going to go with Mate. That's very Australian to me. So we're going to go with Mate. And I can look forward to being called Mate throughout this entire game. So I've progressed a little bit into the game. A bit further than what you get in the demo. And I'm going to build my second festival site in the outback. Only 36% of people choose the outback. And these cars here that you can see are the ones you get as rewards for your tier level in the Forza Hub and for playing the old games and for VIP. So that Koenigsegg there is for being the VIP. You get some for playing Forza 6 and Forza 5 and Horizon 2. As you can see here, get them all for free. That's quite good. So I've got plenty of cars to kick me off. I don't have to pay for them. Nice McLaren P1. But we are going to go with Honda NSX. I absolutely adore this car. One of my favourite cars of all time is this Honda NSX. And we're going to give it a bit of a tune. We're going to tune it up to the top of A class. And let's see how it goes. At the moment it's B class, 684 rated. So we're looking to get to the top of A, which is 800 PI. So the first thing I like to do when tuning cars, quite surprisingly you might think, is I like to upgrade the rear tyre width. That I feel that just gives me that stability at the back end of the car. And brakes as well. I think brakes are really underrated. I think brakes are really important because you're saving a lot of time in a short distance. And then exhaust is normally the first thing I put on in terms of the engine upgrades. Go over race, intake, and we're going to go with the fuel system as well. That's put us up to 722 PI. With the ignition as well, 727. The camshaft as well, putting us up quite a decent amount of horsepower there. So we are building up this car quite steadily. I'd imagine it's going to handle quite well. Usually these Japanese cars do handle quite nicely. So we've already got the good brakes in. We'll go for a weight reduction here. And that's going to put us right up as well. A rear wheel drive car here, of course. So with that rear width on the tyres, I imagine this thing is going to handle quite nicely in terms of rear end. Let's hope it does anyway. Tyres. Now these are going to make a massive difference. We have off-road tyres and we have race tyres. Those are the two that we're looking at. But they're going to put me into S-Class. So for now we're going to leave those. Just add a couple more upgrades here. So the pistons and the oil and cooling. Flywheel as well, just going to get added on. Normally only adds a couple of PI, which is good. Usually put them on at the end. I'm going to lower the car here. So race spring 780. Now I'd imagine that isn't going to help the car off-road, which is half the game. Let's not forget off-road is very important in this game because, well, I'd say 80% of the map is off-road if you think about it. So we are going to struggle off-road, but let's see how it handles anyway. I'd imagine I'd have to be working very hard on the wheel as we go off onto the fields and the desert. So we're going to put on some nice rims here. So those white ones are looking a bit dull to me. Have a flick through here. But most of these are making the car heavier and therefore worse. I like to save rims to last because you can normally find one that just puts your PI up by 1 or 2. But at the moment I can't seem to. But those ones there look very nice. And we're going to put those ones on. I do love the black rims in these Forza games, well, on any car to be honest, in real life too. They look very nice, and that kind of works in terms of the paint job as well, which we are going to do right now. I think if you have black rims, it kind of goes with any colour, and we're going to see that here. Go for the paint on the body. It looks good in white, it looks good in black. Pretty much any colour you can whack onto this NSX and it is beautiful. Just look at that. Even in this sickening lime green colour, it kind of looks alright. And then we're going to skip through a couple of colours here. But we're going to settle on a nice fiery red, which we can see here. We're going to settle on that colour, and I think that looks pretty darn gorgeous. Very bright red colour with the black rims. I think that's a very good car, and that is a good tune, I hope, for A-Class. Let's see if it is. We're going to give it a drive. So leaving the Byron Bay Festival site, we now have to drive to the other festival site, which we just opened in the outback. 18.7 kilometres there, as you can see. So that'll take me a good 10 minutes or so, or I don't know, 5 minutes maybe, if I absolutely push it, to get there. So we just earned a skill point. Now there's slightly different skill points to be spent here. So as you can see, there's festival boss, skills, and instant rewards. So festival boss kind of gives you all-rounded different perks, like the drone mode is the first one you can unlock there. Then you can unlock extra percentages on your credits, that kind of thing. Skills is more based on the way you drive. So for drifting, for near misses, you get better rewards. So for example, you can get 10% extra on near misses, that kind of thing. Instant rewards gives you, let's say, credit rewards straight away, which is good if you're short on cash, that kind of thing. So coming up the road here, this is the road on the oh my god, I'm just going to totally wreck my car already. Luckily damage isn't on, so we don't have to worry about that. So this is the road on the far southwest of the map, leading through the edge of the rainforest, and it leads towards the desert area at the northwest of the map. So just going around the outside of this Audi. This car feels quite nice to drive actually. On the roads it feels very good. And we're just going to drive past that XP board, annoyingly. But then now we are approaching the desert area. So you can see here the trees begin to get a bit smaller and they start to thin out as we approach the desert area. Coming past a couple of guys here as if they're standing still. Car quite easily reaching 155 miles per hour there. And yes, we do use miles per hour in the UK still, for those of you who have moved on to kilometres per hour. And as we can see here, the train, there is a train that goes around on the map. In case you hadn't seen it, it's going to block me off. I kind of had to bail out of that. And we're going to let it go past and then go across behind it. So we're now pretty much arriving at the new festival site. So the game pretty much revolves around opening new festival sites or upgrading the current existing ones that you have. As we haven't got very far into the game, we're just going to be starting our second one here in the outback, and then I would imagine later on I'll be doing the one in Surfers Paradise City. So we've only just made that nice Honda NSX, but it already wants us to have a new car, which we are going to choose here, the Ariel Nomad, for free, which is quite nice. And we're going to have the paint by Don Jobon's Song. Now if you want to check out this guy on YouTube, he makes some pretty darn good videos. And we are going to unlock a couple more events here and PR stunts. And this is the first race I'm going to do for you today, or for this whole series, for this entire game. Let's give it a go. Ariel Nomad off-road in heavy rain in the desert. Didn't know that existed, but Australia is an unusual country, I guess. I do love Australia. I've never been, but I would like to go. Just obviously got to be careful with the fact that pretty much everything there can kill you, including the prisoner population. Just kidding, you know, don't take that joke too seriously. So coming over the big jumps here, we are 22% of the way into the race, smashing through the barriers. These are the kind of races where you can really rack up massive combos, where you're jumping over everything, wrecking everything, getting the passes, Obviously try and keep it clean as well. There's plenty of points to be had by not making contact with the other cars, and you can really rack up a lot of points. Now, for those of you who watch the Gamescom footage, you might find this very familiar, because this is the course that they both drove. So Ralph Fulton drove this, and AC Bongos, our good friend AC Bongos, they both did a little competition on this circuit, or this sprint stage should I say, and finding it a bit tricky there on the understeer on the Ariel Nomad. This car is a live wire, I've got to say. I'm getting overtaken back down to second, but then he goes through the water. It's going to slow him down a bit, so you're going to have to be careful going through water in this game. It does definitely slow you down, like you see there, and there's a big risk that you're going to get passed by someone who manages to drive around the puddle like that guy. He has just gone round me, losing even more speed. I think he had a bad jump there or something. Seemed to lose a lot of momentum. Back into the lead. Almost lose control once again. And that rock in the middle there, I do remember Ralph actually hit that rock. So we've managed to avoid that. We've gone one better at this moment. Still in first place. 20% of the race left to go as we come through the last couple of checkpoints here. So I do love these stages. The off-road really is good fun, and I think it's gone to another level compared to Horizon 2. In Horizon 2 sometimes it did feel a little clumsy, but in here it kind of feels right. When you're driving an off-road car, it feels a lot better compared to in the last game where you're driving, you know, your Lamborghini Gallardo off-road. It feels a bit weird, but in this game when you're driving these off-road cars, which are intended for off-road, it feels a lot better. So there we go, first place on our first race of my coverage of Forza Horizon 3. As you can see, there is my clan tag, SUPR. So once you progress through the game quite a certain amount, you will unlock the club option on the menus, on the pause menu, and then you can join that club if you want to do so. I'll be doing plenty of challenges, setting plenty of blueprint challenges, and anyone who gets to the highest tier in the club during a week will get a shout out. So that is something for you to aim at. So that is going to bring a close to this video. We've progressed through the game a small amount, so join me in plenty of future episodes where we go through the game, get as far as we can, have plenty of fun along the way. Join me in my co-op career mode as well, so if I'm online, to jump in with me as well if my party is open. So that's going to bring a close to this one, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want to see in future videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.